Part 1. The Plague in 2025, Why Older Adults Need to Pay Close Attention. Welcome back to our journey of living healthier, more mindful, and more empowered every single day. In recent months, public health officials across the United States have issued growing warnings about the return of a disease that once struck fear across entire civilizations, the plague. To many, it may sound like an ancient threat, a dark memory from medieval Europe. But here in 2025, cases of plague have been confirmed in parts of rural America, particularly in scattered areas of the western states, enough to sound the alarm in the medical community. While infection rates are still low overall, older adults, those with weaker immune systems and chronic conditions, are the most vulnerable group if exposed. The danger isn't just in how the plague spreads. What makes it truly frightening is how quickly it can become fatal if not detected and treated in time. That's why this video was created, to give you, especially those over 60 living in the US, a clear, scientific, and easy-to-understand guide to what the plague is, what signs to watch for, and how you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Because when you understand the threat, you can take calm, confident steps to stay safe. Part 2. Why older adults must be especially cautious about the plague. When people hear the word plague, many think of it as a disease from the past, something long gone and forgotten. But in 2025, we are seeing sporadic cases re-emerge, and older adults are among those at highest risk. After age 60, the immune system doesn't function as strongly as it once did. Its ability to fight off bacteria weakens, and the body reacts more slowly to infections. That means seniors are more likely to get infected, and recovery often takes longer. If an older person contracts the plague, especially the pneumonic form or septicemic form, the risk of death is significantly higher than for younger, healthier individuals, especially if it isn't diagnosed early. There's another concern. Many seniors live with chronic health conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or kidney disease. These conditions make treating the plague more complicated and raise the chances of serious complications. Sadly, many older adults also live in isolation or have limited access to health information. They may not recognize the early warning signs or know when to seek medical care. That's why raising awareness about the plague among older adults in the US is not just important, it can be life-saving. When we understand the risks, we can act faster, seek help sooner, and protect those we love most. Part 3. What is the plague? The plague is an acute infectious disease caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, the same bacteria that once devastated human populations during some of history's deadliest pandemics. But despite what many believe, this disease never completely disappeared. It still exists in the wild, especially in the western United States, including New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and California. There are three main forms of the plague: bubonic plague, affecting the lymph nodes, pneumonic plague, affecting the lungs, and septicemic plague, spreading through the bloodstream. For older adults, pneumonic and septicemic forms are particularly dangerous, with rapid progression and a high risk of fatality if not treated promptly. The early symptoms often mimic the flu: high fever, chills, headache, muscle weakness, swollen or painful lymph nodes. But unlike the flu, these symptoms can worsen dramatically within hours or days. How does it spread? The plague is usually transmitted from animals to humans through the bite of infected fleas or by handling tissues or fluids from infected animals such as rats, squirrels, or feral cats. Even more concerning, pneumonic plague can spread directly from person to person through respiratory droplets, coughing, sneezing, which means community outbreaks are possible if not properly contained. For older adults, understanding how the disease spreads And recognizing the early warning signs is the first step in preventing infection and protecting your health during this vulnerable time.
Part 4. Early warning signs and when to see a doctor. For older adults, recognizing the early signs of the plague could literally save a life. But because the initial symptoms often look like the common flu, many people delay seeking care or brush it off as nothing serious. That's why we all need to stay alert, especially when public health warnings are in place. Here are the key warning signs to watch for. Sudden high fever, often above 102 degrees Fahrenheit or 39 degrees Celsius. Severe chills or feeling cold even when the weather is warm. Headache, unusual fatigue, or general weakness. Swollen and painful lymph nodes, especially in the groin, neck, or armpit. Persistent dry cough, difficulty breathing, or chest pain, which is possible pneumonic plague. Abdominal pain, vomiting, or bluish skin discoloration, which is possible septicemic plague. If you or an older loved one experiences any of these symptoms, especially after traveling to an at-risk area or having contact with wild animals or fleas, seek medical help immediately. Here's the good news. The plague is treatable with antibiotics if caught early. But if treatment is delayed, the risk of severe complications or death rises quickly, especially for seniors with weaker immune defenses. So don't wait. When something feels off, listen to your body and get checked without delay.
Part 5. High-risk areas and who needs to be most cautious. As of early 2025, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has confirmed more than 27 cases of plague in parts of the western United States, mostly in New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and California. These are semi-arid regions where rodents and disease-carrying fleas are commonly found. While the numbers haven't reached outbreak levels, the plague spreads quickly. Combined with dry climate conditions and increased animal-human contact, the risk remains high, especially for older adults. Among the reported cases, 68% involved people over 60 years old, and more than half lived in rural or semi-rural areas where contact with wild animals like squirrels, rabbits, rats, or even infected pets is more common. Particular attention is needed for seniors with chronic conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, COPD, cancer. For these individuals, the risk of serious complications from plague is significantly higher. Without timely treatment, the fatality rate can range from 30 to 60%. There's also a vulnerable group often overlooked: elderly individuals living alone, those with limited access to health news or without family support. They may not recognize symptoms early or know how to seek proper care, putting them at greater risk. That's why it's crucial to share awareness and offer support to older friends, neighbors, or loved ones, especially those in high-risk areas. Part 6. Safe and simple ways for older adults to prevent plague at home. For older adults, prevention is the most powerful key to protection, especially when dealing with a disease like plague, which can spread quietly through rodents and fleas. To stay safe, seniors are encouraged to follow these practical and consistent habits. 1. Avoid contact with wild animals or unvaccinated pets. Never touch sick or dead animals, including squirrels, rats, rabbits, or stray cats, even if they seem harmless. If you must clean up an animal area or do yard work, always wear gloves to protect your hands. 2. Keep your home and yard clean and rodent-free. Clear weeds, wood piles, and clutter around your house. These are favorite hiding spots for rodents and fleas. Use traps or call pest control if you notice signs of rodent activity. 3. Check your pets regularly. Cats and dogs can carry infected fleas. Make sure your pets are up to date on vaccines, receive regular flea treatments, and are kept away from wild animals when outdoors. 4. Avoid visiting areas with known plague risk. If there's a warning in your area, postpone outdoor trips or travel to affected places. If you must go outside, wear long sleeves and pants and use insect repellent containing DEET. 5. Monitor your health closely. If you experience fever, fatigue, or swollen lymph nodes, go to the hospital right away, especially if you've recently had any contact with animals or fleas. These simple actions can make a big difference, because when it comes to protecting your health in older age, awareness and early action are everything. Part 7. Early symptoms of plague in older adults. What to watch for. Recognizing the early symptoms of the plague can mean the difference between a full recovery and life-threatening complications, especially for older adults who have weaker immune systems and slower recovery rates. Here are the key signs to watch closely. 1. Sudden high fever. Often the very first symptom, body temperature may rise to 102 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 39 to 40 degrees Celsius, along with chills, sweating, and full body fatigue. 2. Severe headache and muscle or joint pain. These are signs that the body is reacting strongly to infection. Older adults may feel exhausted, have difficulty walking, or even lose their sense of balance. 3. Swollen and painful lymph nodes. This is the hallmark sign of bubonic plague. Lymph nodes in the neck, armpit, or groin may swell to the size of a walnut and feel sore, even without touching them. 4. Nausea, vomiting, or mild diarrhea. These symptoms may occur if the infection affects the digestive system or begins spreading throughout the body. 5. Shortness of breath, bloody cough, or chest pain. These are serious warning signs of pneumonic plague, the most dangerous form. Without fast treatment, it can become fatal within days. If you or a loved one over 60 experience any of these symptoms, especially after contact with animals, pets, or travel to areas with plague alerts, seek medical care immediately. Getting tested and treated early with antibiotics can save lives, but delays can lead to severe complications or death, especially in older adults. Part 8. Treating the plague. Recovery chances for older adults. The good news: when diagnosed early, the plague can be cured, even in people over 60, with the right antibiotics. But the longer treatment is delayed, the higher the risk of death, especially for older adults who already live with conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or chronic lung disease. Here's what treatment looks like today in the U.S. 1. Standard antibiotic therapy. Doctors typically use powerful broad-spectrum antibiotics such as streptomycin, gentamicin, doxycycline, ciprofloxacin. These must be given as soon as possible, ideally within the first 24 hours after symptoms appear. Early action is critical. 2. Supportive care. This may include IV fluids and electrolytes, fever control, oxygen therapy, especially for pneumonic cases, and close monitoring in the hospital. For seniors, the body's ability to withstand complications like septic shock or acute respiratory failure is lower. That's why many older patients need intensive care, ICU, during treatment. Recovery rates depend on the type of plague. With bubonic plague, if caught early and treated properly, the recovery rate is 85 to 95%. With pneumonic plague, it can be fatal within 24 to 72 hours if not treated. So what's the key to survival? It's early diagnosis, rapid antibiotic treatment, and comprehensive care, both physical and emotional, especially for seniors. Because in the end, healing isn't just about medicine. It's also about support, awareness, and acting at the right time. Part 9. Community-based plague prevention for older adults. For older adults, plague prevention isn't just a personal effort, it's a community responsibility. Protecting seniors requires attention from family members, healthcare services, and local authorities. Here are the key steps every family and community should take. Number 1. Limit exposure to rodents. Many seniors enjoy gardening, keeping pets, or living close to nature, but these environments often bring them into contact with rats, squirrels, or wild rabbits, animals that can carry plague-infected fleas. To reduce the risk, keep the home and yard clean and rodent-free. Seal trash bins tightly. Avoid leaving leftover food outside, and check regularly for signs of animal intrusion. Number 2. Flea control for pets. Cats and dogs should be bathed and checked for fleas regularly, especially during summer or after trips to the park. Ask a veterinarian about safe flea treatments, particularly if the senior shares living space with the pets. Number 3. Be cautious when traveling or camping. Western U.S. states like Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico are known areas where plague may still circulate. When outdoors, seniors should avoid contact with wild animals, never sleep directly on the ground, and always use insect repellent with DEET. Number 4. Educate and involve the family. Loved ones play a crucial role in prevention. They should learn how to recognize early symptoms, offer daily check-ins, and take swift action by getting medical help if a senior shows signs like fever, fatigue, or swollen lymph nodes. Together, we can create an environment where older adults feel informed, supported, and safe, not only from the plague, but from all preventable health threats.
Part 10. How the U.S. government and public health system help protect seniors from the plague. In the United States, even though plague is rare, public health authorities continue to monitor it closely, especially when it comes to protecting vulnerable populations like older adults. Here's how the government and healthcare system work together to reduce the risk. 1. National Disease Surveillance. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, maintains a national system for tracking infectious diseases. Every suspected case of plague is reported, investigated, and made public in a timely manner. This allows local health departments to issue alerts, particularly in communities with a high number of seniors. 2. Community outreach and education. The government funds awareness campaigns focused on senior care facilities and retirement centers. Educational materials are designed with simple English, clear visuals, and even multi-language versions to help older adults easily understand how to stay safe. 3. Preventive care support. Many states offer free testing programs, flu shots, since flu symptoms can be confused with plague, and provide masks and hand sanitizers for low-income seniors. Some areas also train volunteers to assist older adults with daily health checks at home. 4. Strengthening local healthcare systems. The federal government provides funding to help rural hospitals upgrade their ability to diagnose and respond quickly to outbreaks like plague. This ensures that even in remote areas, seniors have access to proper care in time. Together, these efforts form a network of protection, making sure older adults are not left behind, even in the face of rare but serious health threats. Because public health isn't just about hospitals, it's about reaching people where they are with the tools they need and the dignity they deserve. Part 11. A final message for older adults and their families in 2025. Hello there. To you who are reading these words with genuine care for your own health or for the safety of someone you love, thank you. The plague, a name that sounds like it belongs to the distant past, still exists quietly in the background of our modern world. And here in 2025, while it is not a widespread pandemic, it stands as a powerful reminder. Taking charge of your health is never unnecessary, especially as we grow older.
If you or someone in your family is over 60 and living in the United States, whether in a peaceful mountain town or a bustling city, take a moment to reflect on what we've just covered. How the disease spreads, the early warning signs and common misconceptions, the real practical steps you can take to prevent it, the numbers and facts that matter, and the support systems that are already here for you, from local clinics to community care to national health services. Every piece of knowledge you now carry could become a life-saving decision tomorrow. Live with awareness, not fear. Don't hesitate to ask your doctor, read from trusted sources, or simply pay more attention to your meals, your walking shoes, or even a small bug bite on your skin. Because when you care for yourself with knowledge, you're not only protecting your health, you're preserving your dignity, your independence, and the best years of your life still ahead. We hope this video has served as a guiding compass, pointing you in the right direction toward a life of health, safety, and love. Thank you for being here, for listening, reflecting, and walking this journey with us as we explored the plague and how it affects older adults in 2025. We truly appreciate your time and your trust, because even one informed senior or one proactive family is a small but meaningful victory in our shared mission to build a healthier community. We wish you and your loved ones strength, peace of mind, and a fulfilling life in your golden years. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking the subscribe button and the golden bell icon in the bottom right corner so you won't miss our upcoming videos on health, nutrition, and everyday safety tips made especially for older adults. And feel free to leave us a comment below, whether it's a question or just a quick hello. We're always here to listen.